The Supreme Court has cleared the way for the Trump administration to move forward with its mass layoffs of federal workers. The justices today lifted a lower court order that had blocked layoffs at dozens of agencies. The Trump administration has been working to reorganize and downsize the federal government under the White House Department of Government Efficiency, also known as DOGE. CBS News legal contributor and Loyola Law School professor Jessica Levinson joins us now. Jessica, always very good to see you. Remind us a little bit about the facts of this case and how it ended up before the Supreme Court here.
So it ended up before the Supreme Court, as we're talking about increasingly frequently, is that there was an emergency appeal to the Supreme Court. So what happened? As you said, President Trump issued an executive order saying, essentially, we're going to drastically reduce the number of federal workers. And then there was another memo that was issued about exactly how to do that. Labor groups and others sued and said, Mr. President, you don't have the power. You actually have to work with Congress if you want to dramatically reorganize the executive branch this way. And there was an initial win by those challenging the president's executive order in the trial court at the district court. The district court judge said, at least for now, to the challengers, you're right, Mr. President, you cannot implement these plans. Let's put these plans on hold. The Trump administration then appealed up to the Ninth Circuit, that's the Intermediate Court of Appeals, and said, let us move forward. The Ninth Circuit, in a divided decision, said no. The Trump administration, in an emergency appeal, then went up to the Supreme Court. That's the ruling that we're talking about today. And the Supreme Court essentially lifted the lower court's pause, meaning that the restructuring can move forward while this case plays out.
So what does that mean exactly about what kind of federal workers will be affected by this? And do we have a sense of how soon that would happen?
So we're talking about federal workers from 12 different agencies. So we're talking about potentially, my understanding is not just tens of thousands of workers, but actually up to 100,000 different workers. This would be a significant restructuring of the executive branch. And again, the underlying question is whether or not the president has the power to do that without working with Congress. The president tried to do this during the first administration by working with Congress. Congress wasn't willing to do that, and therefore now the president is trying to do this by himself. How quickly could this happen? I would say that we're potentially talking about days or weeks to see some significant changes in the executive branch.